$500 fine. Because my grass was visually offensive. I stood there at 6:14 in the morning, exhausted, still wearing hospital scrubs after spending the night beside my mother's ICU bed, staring at a group of strangers trying to punish me over a lawn. And then I noticed something. Across the street, the HOA president's yard was breaking at least 6 of the same rules they fined me for. That's when I realized. This was never about grass. It was personal. And they had just picked the wrong neighbor to humiliate. Before we get into this insane revenge story, if you love dark karma stories, toxic people getting exposed, and satisfying revenge that actually feels real, hit like, subscribe, and comment below. What's the worst power trip you've ever seen someone go on? Trust me, by the end of this story, you're going to hate this HOA president. I moved into Maple Grove Estates 3 years ago. Worst mistake of my life. At first, it looked perfect. Quiet neighborhood. Clean sidewalks. Families walking dogs in the evenings. American flags on porches. The kind of place real estate agents describe with fake smiles and words like community values. But after a few months, I realized something. The HOA didn't protect the neighborhood. They controlled it. And the queen of that control was a woman named Karen Holloway. Yeah. Karen. And somehow she lived up to every stereotype. Mid-50s. Blonde bob haircut. Permanent expression like she smelled something disgusting. Always driving around in a golf cart like she owned the entire subdivision. The first time she approached me, I was unloading groceries. She smiled. But it wasn't a friendly smile. It was the kind people use before they insult you politely. You know, she said, looking at my driveway, trash bins are supposed to be hidden within 12 hours after pickup. I glanced at the bin. Garbage day had ended maybe 30 minutes earlier. Sorry, I said. Long shift. What do you do? I'm an ER nurse. She nodded slowly. Then gave me this fake sympathetic look. Well, we all have responsibilities. And drove away. That was the beginning. After that, the notices started coming constantly. Mailbox color violation. Holiday lights left up too long. Grass half an inch above regulation height. One time they cited me because weeds were visible near the fence. The weeds were literally flowers. Meanwhile, other houses looked worse than mine. But they weren't getting fined. Especially not Karen's friends. At first, I tried being reasonable. I attended HOA meetings. Big mistake. Those meetings felt less like community discussions and more like public executions. Karen would sit at the front beside 2 board members who acted like silent bodyguards while residents got shamed over microscopic issues. One older man got lectured for having a work van parked outside overnight after his wife had surgery. A single mom got threatened with legal action because her kids drew chalk art on the sidewalk. People stopped arguing eventually. You could actually see it happen. That defeated look. Like they realized fighting back only made things worse. And honestly, I probably would have kept my head down too. If my mom hadn't gotten sick. Everything changed after that. Stage 3 lung cancer. I spent weeks barely sleeping. I'd work 12-hour ER shifts, drive 40 minutes to the hospital, sit beside her until midnight, then come home completely numb. The lawn became the least important thing in my life. Apparently, the HOA disagreed. One afternoon, after spending 2 days sleeping in hospital chairs, I came home and found 3 violation notices taped to my door. 3. Grass height. Edging inconsistency. Dead patches. I remember just staring at them in silence. My vision blurred. Not from tears. From exhaustion. Then came the fine. $500. Final notice. Failure to comply may result in legal escalation. Legal escalation. Over grass. I called the HOA office immediately. No answer. So I drove to Karen's house. Bad idea. She opened the door holding a wine glass. Smiling. Always smiling. I need more time, I told her. My mother's in the hospital. She tilted her head slightly. And I swear to God, she looked annoyed. I'm sorry to hear that, she said flatly. But rules exist for everyone. I looked at her yard. Patchy grass. Overgrown hedges. Garden lights violating spacing regulations. And suddenly something clicked in my brain. These people weren't enforcing standards. They were enforcing power. You fined me $500, I said quietly. Karen crossed her arms. You should have maintained your property. Then she smiled again. That same smug smile. You can either comply or face additional penalties. I don't remember driving home. I just remember sitting in my kitchen in total silence. The microwave clock blinking 1:13 a.m. My hands shaking. And then I opened my laptop. If they wanted rules, I was going to give them rules. Every single one. For the next 2 weeks, I became obsessed. Not angry. Focused. I read every HOA document. Every regulation. Every amendment. Every financial report publicly available. And the deeper I dug, the uglier it got. Selective enforcement. Missing expense records. Unauthorized landscaping contracts. Board-approved maintenance reimbursements with zero receipts. And Karen's house? Violation city. Technically, she should have owed over $8,000 in fines. But somehow, no citations. Interesting. So I started documenting everything. Quietly. Photos. Dates. Videos. I even bought a drone. Every night after work, I drove through the neighborhood recording violations. Illegal fences. Unauthorized exterior paint colors. Commercial vehicles. Dead lawns. Broken mailboxes. Stuff Karen ignored because those homeowners were her friends. Then I discovered the jackpot. The HOA had spent nearly $18,000 replacing decorative entrance signs 6 months earlier. Except, the signs looked cheap. Very cheap. So I searched county permit records. Nothing. No permits. Then I checked the contractor listed on the invoice. The business didn't exist. My stomach dropped. No way. I dug deeper. The contractor's mailing address led to a UPS store mailbox. And the payment checks? Signed by Karen. That's when the entire story changed. This wasn't about petty HOA harassment anymore. This was fraud. And suddenly, I understood why Karen acted untouchable. Because nobody had ever challenged her properly. Until now. The letter was taped to my front door like a threat. I spent another week organizing everything. Spreadsheets. Violation comparisons. Financial discrepancies. Photos. Timelines. I barely slept. At work, my coworkers kept asking if I was okay. I lied. But inside? I was running on pure adrenaline. Then Karen pushed me one step too far. Saturday morning. 8:02 a.m. A tow truck arrived outside my house. I walked outside confused. The driver showed me paperwork. HOA order. Unauthorized parking violation. They were trying to tow my car. My legally parked car. I saw Karen standing across the street watching. Actually watching. Coffee mug in hand. Smiling. That smile finally broke something inside me. Not emotionally. Strategically. Because in that exact moment, I stopped wanting peace. I wanted destruction. Legal destruction. That Monday, I sent a 47-page evidence package to every homeowner in Maple Grove Estates. Certified mail. Including photos of Karen's violations, financial irregularities, fake contractor information, selective enforcement evidence, and a cover letter that ended with one sentence. If the HOA can weaponize rules against grieving homeowners, the neighborhood deserves to know where your money is really going. Then I forwarded everything to the county regulatory board, and an attorney, and the local news station. 3 days later, chaos exploded. The neighborhood Facebook group went nuclear. People were furious. Residents started posting their own stories. Unfair fines, threats, selective targeting, missing payments. One homeowner revealed Karen had threatened foreclosure over a fence dispute. Another said the HOA charged her late fees that mysteriously vanished after she questioned the accounting. People who'd stayed silent for years suddenly felt brave enough to talk. And Karen? Oh, she panicked. You could literally see it. She stopped driving around in the golf cart. HOA meetings got temporarily postponed. Board members resigned one by one. Then came the best part. The county launched an official investigation. Turns out, creating fake contractors and redirecting HOA funds? Very illegal. Very expensive. Very public. Karen tried blaming everyone else. Claimed it was administrative confusion. Then she claimed political targeting. Then she stopped speaking entirely after investigators subpoenaed bank records. I'll never forget seeing her 6 weeks later. No makeup. No smug smile. No confidence. Just this exhausted woman carrying cardboard boxes out of the HOA office while residents watched silently from their driveways. Nobody helped her. Nobody spoke. Because fear had finally disappeared. And without fear, people like Karen become very small. The HOA dissolved 3 months later. Homeowners voted to completely restructure leadership. New board. Transparent finances. Independent audits. Actual voting rights. And me? I finally cut my grass one quiet Sunday morning without feeling anxiety every time a car slowed near my house. My mom passed away 2 months after everything happened. And honestly, I think that changed me more than the revenge ever did. Because sitting beside her during those final days, I realized something important. People like Karen count on exhaustion. They count on grief. On stress. On people being too overwhelmed to fight back. But sometimes, the wrong person gets pushed too far at exactly the wrong time. And when that happens, the people who abused power the longest usually fall the hardest. A few weeks after the HOA collapsed, I found one final letter in my mailbox. No return address. Inside was a photocopy of my original $500 fine notice. Across it, written in red marker, were 4 words. Worth every penny. I still don't know who sent it. But I laughed harder than I had in months. Because they were right. It was worth every penny. Karen thought she was punishing a tired homeowner over a lawn. What she actually did was wake up someone who had nothing left to fear. And in the end, she didn't lose because of me. She lost because power makes arrogant people believe they'll never be exposed. Until they are. If this revenge story felt satisfying, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more dark Reddit-style karma stories every week. And tell me in the comments, what's the worst abuse of power you've ever witnessed, and did karma ever catch up to them?